Hi everyone, welcome to Griglish Outdoors. Today we are looking at a new tent. I have the MH100 Fresh by Decathlon. So, stick around. So I'm always checking out for new gear and new tents online, and I came across this one on the Decathlon website. It was on offer, and I'll get into that price later on, but it was something I couldn't resist. It looked like an interesting tent and that it would be perfect for 3 friends on a static camp or maybe even a small family. Anyway, let's take a closer look. So like my Fresh and Black tent that I reviewed several years ago, it comes in this really good stuff sack. On the outside you can see it states it is for 3 people and it's from the Quechua range. The stuff sack does have these great tension straps on the back, which means you don't have to fold it perfectly. You can stick it in there and then tighten it up with those straps. If we undo those straps, then the stuff sack just folds open. And there you can see all the gear packed in there. Right, let's get it all out and I'll show you what you get in this bag. You get the main part or inner of the tent. You get the outer of the tent. You get 3 lots of fiberglass poles, 2 long and 1 short. You get this extra mesh piece, and integrated into the stuff sack, you get 10 heavy-duty steel pegs and 4 guy lines. And that is everything together which comes in that stuff sack. Right, let's put it up and then we'll go through a few facts and figures. Now it didn't come with a mat to protect the underside of the tent, but I have my own little picnic mat which I'm going to use today because there's a lot of pine needles and I don't really want to puncture the bottom of the tent. So there's the tent up, and it's quite an unusual looking tent. It's definitely not a symmetrical tent, but it looks kind of cool. You see the outer fly slopes down more to the back, so the back is more protected, and then it kind of angles up around here to the first entrance, and then again to the second entrance, where there is this kind of slight canopy area to protect you from the rain. This door part here is mesh, but there's also some material behind that, and if you look under there, all the top is mesh, so that should give you plenty of ventilation. They're very large doors on both sides, but as you can see, there are really large storm flaps on the side and underneath to protect the zip from any rain and any wind. That is a bonus, because I was worrying about this tent maybe having issues with leakage. That extra little pole there gives a little bit more rigidity and pulls this canopy out a little bit further over the doors. So overall, I think it looks kind of cool. One issue I do have with this tent is the fact that I bought it discounted. I'll tell you the price later. But the tent has been used. I'm not sure you can see here. There are bits of dirt all in the tent, so this has definitely been used. See, like muddy footprints in there as well. I'm not sure if you can see that very well. So someone has used this tent and returned it, but that was not highlighted when I bought this tent online. So I'm slightly annoyed to that. I probably will write to Decathlon about that and complain, because even though I'm buying a discounted tent, it should be a new tent. If it was advertised as a second-hand tent, then I might not have bought it, to be honest. But as it stands, it looks like it's okay. I can't see any holes or tears or anything negative about the tent so far, so that's good. But we have one more item to fit, and that means going inside. And of course the part I'm referring to is this netting. Right, let's go inside. So one thing I can see straight away is there is a washing line on the side. That's quite handy. And a lantern hook on the top. Let's fit this net in. So there are little toggles on the net and little loops. And there we have an extra bit of netting on the roof where you can store things if you want to. It's quite a nice little touch. Those little toggles are quite fiddly, and I recently cut my thumb open on a can of corned beef, and so it's quite painful. Anyway, you've seen the tent, now let's have some facts and figures. So the Decathlon M100 Ultra Fresh tent. This is a 3-person tent. The dimensions when packed are 57 by 15 by 15 centimetres. The dimensions when open are 210 by 210 by 120 centimetres. It weighs 4.1 kilograms. Decathlon state that the outer fly has an hydrostatic head rating of greater than 2,000 millimetres, and that is exactly the same for the ground sheet too. They also state it can stand wind speeds up to force 4, which is 30 kilometers an hour. The tent is all made of 100% polyester with a polyurethane coating, and the poles are fiberglass. Now, although it doesn't specifically say so on the Decathlon website here in Greece, I have seen it elsewhere been described as a one-season tent, which is a little bit unusual, I think, because with this waterproof rating and with the design of it, I think it definitely could be more than that. You could easily use it in summertime, obviously, with all that ventilation. But also, I think it'd be fine in spring and autumn. Due to all that mesh on the ceiling, though, probably not suitable for winter camping, unless you don't mind a draft. As you can see, you can open both of those doors, and it lets so much light and air in. It would be fantastic for summer. Those doors are easily pinned back by these toggles on elastic, and then can be returned. The zips feel smooth, however, just be careful you don't catch these storm flaps in them. When you're inside, there's loads of room. I'm 6'2", and if I sit up straight, my head is still not touching the ceiling. If I lay down, yeah, there's plenty of room at my head, and even a tiny bit at my feet too. So definitely good if you're tall like me. I also think this is a true 3-person tent, as I could have my space here and there's definitely enough for 2 other people. In an emergency, you might even get 4 people in here. It'd be snug, but you'd get in. I do like the extra mesh at the top, which means you can store things here and not have them cluttering up the bottom of the tent. But obviously if you have this part full, then you won't be able to use the lantern hook. But yeah, plenty roomy enough, plenty airy enough, and you can increase the ventilation even more because each of these doors has a zip which you can pull down, and then you get even more mesh. And I think that's great because you get a really nice clear view outside the tent. For a cool night like tonight's going to be, I think it would be drafty in here, but in summertime I think this might be one of the airiest tents that I will have to go camping with. So putting the tent up wasn't too bad, but how difficult is it to pack away? So in not much time, I could take it down and put it away. The little clips which attach to the tent poles are a little bit tricky to pull off, a bit tight. But once you get into the bag, there's way more room than you really need for this tent. And so it slides in really easily. You don't have to struggle to get it in, and then use those straps to tighten it back up again and keep it compressed. So putting it down is easy. So how much did this tent cost? Well, I did say I got a bargain, and I purchased this from the Decathlon website here in Greece for €58.99 with an original price of €74.99, which I think for this tent, from the first look today, is a bargain. So that was our first look at the Decathlon MH100 Ultra Fresh 3-person tent. I will be doing a test night on this in the future, so keep a lookout for that video. If you've seen this tent before yourself or you have it, do let me know in the comment section below what you think of it. If you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so today. It'd really help the channel out. But for now, thanks for watching, take care, much love, see you next time.